Hello, my friends. Today is July the 3rd, and this is a psychic reading for you if this is your birth date. I do psychic readings and healing work. Check out my credits. I do a lot of readings over the internet, and I do a lot of work out of my office in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Four-card reading to cover the year to follow for July the 3rd, folks. A lens card to look at the year, a challenge you might face this year, an action you can take to stay in balance, and an outcome or synopsis card. This is the lens card, Kairos or Kairos. Um, this is about mythic time, divine time. This is about those times, there's a linear time, 1 second, 2 seconds, 60 seconds, 2 minutes, you know, and it plods along quite often, and but then there's these moments that pop open when they're 1 or 2 seconds, but they seem like an eternity that unfolds in front of us. Like time stands still, and we get to look at everything that's happening, and we get a giant picture of some kind of understanding or psychic understanding or mythic understanding or past life understanding or connective understanding, some kind of grokking, some spiritual understanding that, pops in and changes our life and changes our trajectory of where our life is going. And that's mythic time, that's synchronicities. Those are when those special things happen that pop you out of your consciousness and say, I've been here before, or I've done this before. How do I know this is going to happen? How do I feel this is right? How do I understand something deeply on a level that's not about, my mind and logical time? So that's what Kairos is about, mythic time, tapping into those timeless points of entry into other awarenesses that feel right and talk to you on different levels of your consciousness, but might expand in some kind of timeless present moment and give you some kind of life-changing event. So this is the particular, that was the lens to look at the year through. This is the particular challenge, High Priestess. Well, she, High Priestess, that energy inside of us that is the deep knower, is the deep feeler, is the deep understander, who is, full of the consciousness of what is really truthfully going on inside of you, inside of us, the deep knower of the cosmic truth, of the mystic truth. She's the one that feels inside of us whether the timing is right, whether the the fruit is ripe, whether it is time to move or time to stay, and when we can feel in peace and when we can go with a clarity inside of us to make some kind of move. She's the deep knower inside of us. It's most about intuition, but for some reason you're not trusting your intuition, and you don't feel like you're connected to your intuition, and you want to be in your intuition right now. I think there's a deep desire for you to tap into your inner knowing, and one way that I think this year that you're going to keep tapping into your inner knowing is to have these mythic experience called Kairos come in and pop you open and keep saying, well, look, here's something new for you to explore. Here's a new understanding for you to go into. It's a deep one. It's a mythic one. It's a mystic one. It's one connected to your inner pool of knowing, your inner pool of replenishment. So it's, in a lot of ways, it's about um, trusting that your timing is perfect, waiting for the fruit to ripen, and then no second longer, and making a choice to make some kind of movement. It's that you got to listen to yourself. This is what the High Priestess is: deep meditation, going deeply into oneself to really hear one's truth. You got to keep doing that. It's a practice, and it's a practice, and it's a perseverance. And when you hit it, and it feels right. And otherwise, you might sit in your question marks and might sit in your question marks until you hit it, and you hit it, and you keep growing, and you keep going in stages and in phases, like the butterfly. This is the action to take. Trust where you're at right now. Trust your deep understandings, even if they don't feel like deep understandings or deep clarity yet. Keep trusting and keep opening. There's a mythic understanding coming to you this year. There's some kind of psychic dimension opening to you that you can't see with your eyes and your programming and your prejudices. None of us can, until we step out of our own little limitations of beliefs and thoughts and explore that there are other energies that talk to us, and there are other realms that deeply connect with us, and that we have a deep connection within ourselves that will feel the truth in, and will hear the deepest truth come into us to speak to us and to help us to understand what is the path that we should be on. And it's this is a synopsis card. I think this is about coming into your deep richness of knowing, the deep divine sacred pool that sits at the center of yourself. And that's ultimately what the High Priestess card is all about, that deep emotional psychic well that sits at the center of the High Priestess. Inside of her, here it is, inside of a tree, inside of a connection, inside of a rootedness, inside of an ability. So this is the deep mysteries coming together over time, over practice, over patience, over perseverance. Keep listening for when the time is ripe to do something. But until then, don't waste your time fretting about it. Trust that in the right moments and in the right times, you will be given the right information and the right path to choose. And you'll grow and grow and grow in that consciousness, and become very adept at it. I think this is really, for July 3rd people, this is about coming into some kind of psychic awareness or super emotional awareness that is a healing place, that is a clear place, that is a truth-filled place that inspires you and guides you and refreshes you, ultimately refreshes you, from a deep, deep nurturance part of yourself. Aho.